Good blessed Monday night, April the 21st, 2025. It's about 9:55 p.m. I greet all human beings all around the world. All around the world. All around the world. All around the world with a universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. Doesn't matter whether you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter whether you're the proclaimed toughest to the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. Doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemy. Doesn't matter whether you like me or anything that I say or do. That's your prerogative. You have a First Amendment to the United States Constitution. A freedom of press, freedom of speech, freedom to gather, and freedom to associate. I come today is because of this civic center here. This civic center is for the city of Charleston, Missouri. And I'm trying to see how did this civic center in this park for the city of Charleston citizens, how is it ran and operated? First, the Civic Center by a known convicted felon for voter fraud and ran by the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority. But yet all the other parks is ran by the city of Charleston, Missouri. Now, the Housing Authority, where were they at 1961 on back when this is the only place that blacks could go to school until a lady by the name of Annie Davis filed a lawsuit, a federal lawsuit, against the Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County Board of Education, or the Charleston, Missouri Consolidated School number 7, because they didn't want blacks to go there. And they won. This is the only place blacks could go to school until that lawsuit was settled. But yet, I'm an activist, the only activist in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County that speak up against wrong no matter who do it. But yet I'm barred from this place because of the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority and because of the individual convicted felon that runs all the programs here. It's another place called the Helen Kern Center. The Housing Authority is running that. The Helen Kern Center was named after a civil rights leader, Miss Helen Kern. She was a civil rights leader. She spoke up against injustice. But yet here it is, the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority can say who can come in these particular places and who can't. And I'm one of the ones that come in. Now, you can commit rape, robbery, murder, and you still can come in there, but I can't. I'm going to leave it at this here. If the housing authority is in control of the only black park in the black neighborhood, why can't they run the ones in the other neighborhoods? I'm going to tell you why. Because you got blacks like this convicted felon and a lot of the rest of them, they call themselves civil rights leaders, working hand in hand with white supremacists that been suppressing the black communities here in Charleston, Missouri for decades. Peace be still. The Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority is in control of all of this here. This is what they call the Rocks or Lincoln School. They control all of this here. But yet, this supposed to be a city. This supposed to be the city's community center here. But the housing authority runs it, along with some felons. This supposed to be a park for the city, but the housing authority run it. I can't come on none of this here, because the housing authority said that they're afraid of me, and the people that live in the housing authorities are afraid of me. I never been to court for any threats to any of these people. But yet people that assault me, rape individuals, murder individuals, shoot at individuals, they still can go into the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority. We living in a city here in Charleston, Missouri that's been unjust probably since Charleston, Missouri was formed. You will say, have some people said, oh, everything is okay. And if they say everything is okay, then they are a part of what's been going on in this area for decades. This is the Helen Kern Center. Miss Helen Kern, may she rest in peace. And the C.F. Bowen Center is, Mr. C.F. Bowen was the principal there. This is the Helen Kern Center. Now, they don't have no, the convicted felon in the housing authority, they're not trying to remodel these places here. All they doing is getting government grant money. How is they running this here and they don't do anything for the community other than collect rent from the people that live in the housing authority, but yet they can't secure it? Peace be still. A little over 3 years ago, I was barred from all the properties of the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority. I have been considered, and still is considered, I'm assuming, a danger and threat to the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority employees and attendants in the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority. They got 700 Elm Street, but the address now is 700 South Cy Williams Street or Avenue. But you can see when it was delivered to me by a Charleston, Missouri police officer that don't work for the housing authority. The housing authority don't have any authority over him at all. And if you look at this real good, a police officer shouldn't have no reason to bring me something that a court or the prosecuting attorney, the sheriff department, or the Charleston, Missouri Police Department hasn't had something that ordered me from not coming on any of the property. This was done by the former Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority Executive Director, Paul Page, who was the Executive Director for about 32 years. He left East Prairie, Missouri, I believe, for embezzlement there in a predominantly white town or city, and came to a predominantly black city and came in for 32 years. But anyway, they got a new administration. I believe it was April of last year that Paul Page resigned, and a new the administrator moved up to the executive director, and one of the other workers moved up to be the administrator. The administrator is black, NAACP member. I was an NAACP member, but I withdrawed my membership because the NAACP is worse than the Ku Klux Klan. That's nationwide. But anyway, the executive director is white. She moved up from the administrator. But I want you to see why I was banded now. Dear Mr. Ivy, your constant state of anger expressed it towards Charleston Housing Authority, CHA employees and tenants in your constant trespassing in a tenant's black backyard while ranting and raving has caused concern for the safety and peaceful employment of said employees and tenants. Mr. Raymond Ivy, you are hereby banned and barred from all housing authority property. I'm sure he got that college education. I'm sure he mean plural properties. If you are seen trespassing on Charleston Housing Authority property, criminal trespassing charges will be filed for prosecution by the Charleston Housing Authority. The Charleston Department of Public Safety, the Police Department, the Mississippi County Sheriff Department, CHA employees, the U.S. Department of HUD, the CHA attorney, and the state prosecuting attorney will be provided a copy of this ban notice. Thank you in advance for your cooperation. Paul M. Page, Executive Director. Now, what he called ranting and raving in constant anger, I complained over 20 some times, had videos before I made them YouTube, it showing that some of the tenants not only came beating on my door, but also destroying my bushes, also throwing trash before he cut down the two trees, putting the leaves, raking the leaves, even some of his employees raking the leaves in my bushes. I complained to him. The only one seemed to have been concerned was the foreman. The foreman addressed it, but the foreman can't make the then director of the executive director to do his job. So what I did was I sent it to HUD. I sent the video to HUD showing it, and then HUD sent it back to Paul Page, and he decided what he was going to do is ban me. Now, ain't none one of these people that he mentioned, nobody from the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority filed any charges on me, including not the executive director. No tenants have filed any charges against me for being threatful to them. Matter of fact, in the 29 years I've been down here, I did more to protect the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority in the communities here in Charleston, Missouri than Paul Page, the chief of police of Charleston, Missouri, and the sheriff. Now, some of the sheriff deputies or some of the sheriff employees, they did their job in protecting, the same with some police. But they had no legal grounds. The police officer, Mark Higgins, was given the letter by Curtis Arnold, another officer, to bring to my house. The letter wasn't sealed. And if you can look and see, there's nothing filed in no court. There's no stamp from no prosecuting attorney. There's nothing stamped from the sheriff department or the police department. Mark Higgins do not work for the housing authority. Mark Higgins worked for the Charleston, Missouri Police Department. But anyway, this just go to show you. Now, here it is, the housing authority borrowing an activist, the only activist in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County. I'm barred from all the properties, but yet when I complain about an individual going on war housing inside of a house in the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority that sprayed me with mace just last month on the 20th of March 2025, and they only thing was saying it didn't happen on their property. Drug dealers that come straight out of the penitentiary. You see what I'm saying? Anybody that's committed a crime, rape or whatever, they can go inside of there or go into the properties, the C.F. Bowen Center, our community center. They can go to the park. I can't even go to our park. I have to go to another park. I ain't even barred out of the parks in the white neighborhoods. But I just want to just show y'all the housing authority shouldn't have authority over a historical building that blacks was forced to go to school in. But yet, they got authority over it. But I'm going to leave it at this here. One thing about God, God see it all. God know when to change things. And all you blacks that's working up in that C.F. Bowen Center, working in the housing authority, that's NAACP, that's preachers, you know this here is wrong. The city of Charleston need to take over Lincoln School, the C.F. Bowen Center, the Helen Curran Center, and the playground that's in my neighborhood, the community center that's in my neighborhood that I can't attend because they said I'm a danger and a threat. Now, the individual convicted felon that's running them programs in the C.F. Bowen Center, him and his daughter took me to court, but I got a judge that came out of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, by the name of Gary Kemp, heard both of their testimonies separately, one in 2016, the daddy, and the daughter, I believe just last year, 2024. He heard both cases where they said that they was afraid of me, and you know what he did? He didn't even put on his robe. He threw them both out because he didn't see me a danger and a threat. The Mississippi County State's Attorney don't see me a danger and a threat. The courthouse don't see me a danger and a threat. All these stores, black and white, that I go into, they don't see me as a danger and a threat. It's because of the fact that I speak up against injustice. That's why I'm a danger and a threat. Peace be still. Now, I've been down here in Charleston, Missouri, next month in May of 2025, on May the 3rd, will be 29 years. I've been down here 10,580 days, and not one time have I been downtown or accused of committing a crime against anybody. I done been attacked several times by people coming from the projects. It's on camera. The police didn't come. And when they did come in other cases, nothing happened. And some of them lived in the projects. My record speaks for the 29 years I've been down here, helping elders, helping children, helping drug addicts, alcoholics, prostitutes, raising my two daughters that'll be 19 and 20 this year in July by myself, taking care of my dad from 2014 when we went to Chicago to get him because he had dementia until he died in January the 30th, 2021. Now, how's I'm barred from our community center? I missed my uncle's funeral. I missed a couple of friends' funerals that I was going to go to because they had them there. I missed other events. I can't even come on the property. Can't even walk on the sidewalk. But yet individuals attack me. They can go in there freely because it's a convicted felon that run the programs in there. And it's a new administration that came in, a new administrator and a new executive director. And I done talked to one of them twice to ask the executive director to sit down with me and reverse that. But whether they reverse it or not, I'm still going to live without being in there. I just wanted to show y'all how the city of Charleston, Missouri is ran. Now, that's something that the NAACP would attack. But the NAACP, they work for the housing authority in positions. They work in 700 Elm Street getting government money. And now, the preachers will stand up for a rapist, a drug dealer, or an individual that's starting chaos in the black community, but they won't stand up for me. You know why? Because this, if the shoe fit, wear. Because most of them are criminals and they taking money from drug dealers. Peace be still.